Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in this world. I'm DJ Unification, also known as Double Dragon 912, and today, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I got another top 10 for you guys and girls. Wow, actually, we're doing a top 20 today. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to do my top 20 favorite fighting game characters of all time. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know I love fighting games. Watch my channel, I'm a huge fighting games fan. One of my favorite genres when it comes to video games. And I've already did the women. Shout out to all them, the sexy looking women fighting game characters out there. Check that out on my channel. Now I want to do a combination of both. All my favorite fighting game characters of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, this is my list. You guys and girls leave your favorite fighting game characters of all time that you like to play with on fighting games down there in the comment section. Without further ado, let's get into this. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 20 has to be my wife, Miss Alicia from Tekken. Wow. Miss Alicia. My one thing about Miss Alicia, she Android, but she is sexy. So hot. Want to touch the hiney. Anyway, let me stop being silly. Lisa, I've kind of started liking Lisa ever since Tekken was 6. Yeah, I first played Lisa in Tekken 6. Then when she first came out, it was her and Lars. And y'all know me, I'm not a big fan of Lars, never was. He trying to get close to my wife. Anyways, let me stop being silly. But yeah, Lisa, powerful chick. Lisa, very powerful on the Tekken games. She get hated on. A lot of people say, well, man, if you play with Lisa, man, you ain't no real Tekken player, blah, 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 blah. Sit up! I'm going to quote my younger brother on this one. Get better or get gone. You can't stop it, don't play. that's my girl on there now. A lot of people they can't stand Alicia, but that's fine. You know, y'all got to learn, ladies and gentlemen, these fighting games. Until you learn this, you're never going to grow in fighting games. Ain't no such thing as cheap in fighting games. There's always somebody out there that's going to do this, do that, and the third. All you got to do, learn to get around it and keep moving forward. But Alicia, that's my girl. She my main on Tekken 8. I play with her a lot. And she is my favorite character to play in Tekken right now with the latest Tekken 8 games. So coming, ladies and gentlemen, number 20 has to be my waifu, Alicia Bosconovich. Moving right along. Dr. Boscanovich's daughter that he created through Android. There's a whole big storyline on that, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Let's keep moving. Holla!
Round 1. Fight!
Time to play! Rock power! Pop sound!
Round 2. Fight! Round 3. Fight! Round 4. Fight!
Let's go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 19 has to be Saber Wolf Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my first lightsaber wolf on the hit game. Of course, he's from Killer Instinct or KI2, or the latest Killer Instinct that's Xbox exclusive. But man, I always like he one of my favorite Killer Instinct characters. But I always used to play with him when I first started playing with him on Killer Instinct 1. And Saber Wolf, he had that little thing where he throw that little bat at you, and he got some pretty tight looking combos. I liked him on KI1, and he got different on KI2. I never did play with him too much on the newest KI. I like the newest KI Legend. I ain't gonna hate on it, but maybe that's nostalgia talking about. I prefer the older KIs more so than the newer KI. That's just me, I guess nostalgia reasons. But yeah, Saber Wolf, tight character, got some good combos. You did not know Saber Wolf origin is he's got the werewolf virus, and the whole time he's trying to figure out how to cure himself from the werewolf some type of virus, not virus, but clan thing that he got. The whole game you playing, at least in the first two Killer Instinct. I don't know how it is now on the new Killer Instinct, but I can only speak on the older Killer Instinct. He's trying to find the cure to cure his werewolfism. That's his whole thing. That's why he fight. Tragic backstory. But hey, Saber Wolf, don't mess with Saber Wolf player. They will. You get good with Saber Wolf, we'll holler at you. He a good character, and that's why he makes number 19 on this list. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 19 has to be Saber Wolf from the hit game series Killer Instinct. Moving right along. Moving right along. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 18 has to be Cammy from the hit game Street Fighter. Cammy's so hot, want to touch the hiney. Ooh, anyway, let me stop being silly. Everybody know about Cammy. If you're a fighting game player, you know about Cammy. Cammy first came on the scene back on Super Street Fighter 2 when I first played it on the Super Nintendo. Cammy used to do that little thing where she turn around, show you her butt, and smile at you because she just done beat you down because you've been too busy looking at her. She say, "Why are you looking at me?" I'm just terrible with accents, but y'all know after you used to get beat down with Cammy, the good Cammy player, they'll turn around and she just smile at you and do the thumbs up, say, "Here, you can look at my butt. I don't beat you down, but you can look at my butt." I'm like, my God, woman, bless her, bless her. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Cammy's I don't know what her origin is now because I need to get back into the Street Fighter storyline. But back then on the Super Street Fighter 2 game, I think Cammy Bison brainwashed her, made her into a doll, and he had her fighting for it. And Bison was saying, "Yeah, Cammy." I think in the ending, spoiler, they said that Cammy and Bison was lovers or something like that. I don't know if they ever kept that storyline, but the people that she worked with, when she got her mind from unwashed, she's trying to basically stop Bison. And because Bison, he got a lot of dolls, and he been controlling a lot of dolls just like Cammy. And Cammy's whole thing, at least up to Street Fighter 5, because I don't know how the storyline ended in the Street Fighter 5. I got to get up with my character line storyline. But Cammy, she fighting to stop M. Bison from of course, take over the world, and then try to stop him from controlling different people, different girls he done turned into dolls. So that's her whole mission, just stop M. Bison. But anyways, I ain't gonna get into why they still got M. Bison alive, but that's a whole nother story for another time. But Cammy, for one, Cammy is hot, she's sexy, and she's a good fighting game player. One of my favorite fighting game players to fight with. Love fighting with some Cammy. Love to look at her too. Anyways, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 18 has to be Cammy from the hit game series Street Fighter.
Round 1. Fight! Round 2. Fight! Perfect KO.
Are you?
You win.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 17 has to be Psylocke from the hit series Marvel Superheroes. What was it? Marvel Superheroes. Then she came back on Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and we really ain't heard nothing from her ever since then. But wow, now that is one sexy woman. God dang, Lord, forgive me. Bless her. Psylocke got one of the sexiest character sprites ever made. This woman is gorgeous. She can fight. And I did not know till later on in life when I started back playing Marvel Superheroes, because I played it again with the Marvel vs. Capcom Arcade Classic Collection. Psylocke is kind of a beast on that game, boy. I played with Psylocke again. I was playing online like, man, Psylocke, I didn't know you was this good on this game. But she got that maelstrom. And all my comic book fans down there in the comment section, comment down there in the comment section, tell me about Psylocke's powers. I don't know all her powers, but if you know your comic books, you know what Psylocke can do. But she is tight on these games. She always be real good. Shout out to Yipes and all the players in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 that use Psylocke, her assist move, and Psylocke just an overall good character. She a good character, sexy, and you know what I'm saying, she's a good character sprite to look at, and she's good to play as. You learn how to play with Psylocke, you're gonna go far in life when it comes to fighting games. So ladies and gentlemen, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 17 has to be Psylocke from the hit game series Marvel Superheroes and Marvel vs. Capcom. Y'all know the games just like I do. Let's keep moving.
Charging star! Charging star! Charging star! Thumbs up, soldier! Shield slash!
righty, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 16 has to be Sakura. Wow, from the hit game series, Street Fighter Alpha and Street Fighter series. Wow, now Sakura, ladies and gentlemen, like her, not only she cute. I'm not normally a big fan of girls with short hair, but Sakura pulls it off. She got that tomboy aspect. She wearing that schoolgirl outfit. Oh my God, bless her. Bless her. Ryu love her. Ryu, you crazy. I've been putting a ring on Sakura a long time ago. Me and her have about 3 or 4 children by now. But anyway, that's my little fantasy. Y'all know how I go. But Sakura, good fighting game character. She fight just like Street. To me, she a combination of Ryu and Ken put together in a miniature version. And Sakura pretty tight, ladies and gentlemen. She got some tight moves. She may not be, in my opinion, she may not be as good as Ryu or Ken, but she on there. She up there. She a good player to play with. Good to look at. Like I said, she the only one of the few characters that pulls off short hair. She pulls it off because she got the body to go with it. She pretty. And she old enough now. Don't get mad at me, y'all. She is old enough. You follow the Street Fighter storyline. She old enough now. So y'all don't try to roast me down in the comments saying it's Sakura. It's sexy. Cute little tomboy fighting game character. I like her. She's pretty. And she good to fight with. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number, what we got? Number 16 has to be Sakura from the hit fighting game series Street Fighter Alpha. Let's keep moving.
Hadouken! Hadouken! Ha! Shoryuken! Ha ha! Hadouken! Hadouken!
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 15 has to be Masahiro Nuri from the hit fighting game series King of the Fighters and Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. Wow, the ladies and Masahiro Nuri. Ooh, that's one sexy woman, boy. My God, bless her. Bless her. That's one sexy woman. Andy, shout out to Max Me. He said the same thing I said. Andy, you is crazy. You is crazy. I've been married so long ago, and you know, if I was writing the storyline, if I was Andy and Maya been married, and you know, in City of the Woods would be their children fight. Cause I wouldn't leave Maya out there. That woman is fine, gorgeous, know how to fight. She crazy about you, Andy. Get it. Put a ring on that woman's finger now. Anyways, Andy, you crazy. But Masahiro Nuri, you look past her sexiness, she is a tight fighting game character. She got some of the tightest moves that the Shiro Nuri style Ninja Clan. Basically, her whole storyline, she's crazy about Andy, head over heels in love with Andy, but Andy's crazy self don't give her the time of day. Don't know what's Andy's problem. Anyways, but that's neither here nor there. But besides her looking good, she's a good fighting game character to play with. Only thing I'm pissed off about what SNK did with the Fatal Fury City of the Wolves game, they didn't let you be able to play as Masahiro Nuri's costume. You can do a little special move that you can do that makes she'll switch back into a costume real quick and then switch out of it. But other than just straight up picking the costume, they left that out of there. That's the only gripe. My main gripe I have about Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. But other than that Fatal Fury City of the Wolves is a great game. But Masahiro Nuri makes this list because what else can I say? I'm cheapening it by talking about it so much. Y'all know how sexy Maya is and how good a character she is. My fans out there. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number, what we got? 15 has to be Masahiro Nuri.
Round 2. Fight.
Calm down, Ryu.
Mine wins.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 14 has to be Chun-Li from the hit fighting game series Street Fighter. Wow. When you think of fighting game females in fighting games, the first thing that comes to your mind is gonna be Chun-Li. Man, me and my two younger brothers, we fell in love with Chun-Li ever since Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo. When she do them lightning leg kicks, we be like, oh my God, bless her. So hot, want to touch the heinies and the legs. Woo, that's one sexy woman, Chun-Li. Man, I've been put a ring on Chun-Li so long ago, boy. That's one gorgeous lady. Not only is she gorgeous, but she fights, like I said on my last video, she fights for justice. She actually a decent chick. You know, some of these chicks, you know, you fight with on fighting games, you know, they really ain't no good chick. They just evil in the mug. But Chun-Li actually got a good head on her shoulder. Only thing she's trying to do is get her revenge, because, you know, who wouldn't want to get your revenge? You have somebody killed her daddy. You know, Bison crazy self killed her daddy. Of course she's trying to get her revenge. But she fights for justice. Even though she's trying to get her revenge, she's still fighting to just try to stop M. Bison, because, you know, M. Bison crazy. And she's an overall good-natured, kind-hearted girl. And so I think she trained some students. I think, correct me if I'm wrong down there in the comments, I think she trained Yin and Yang. Yoon and Yang. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. I'm pretty sure she helped train them some type of way. But yeah, Chun-Li, her background speaks for itself. Gorgeous, knows how to fight. Definitely a fighting game character that's a big staple when it comes to fighting game characters. That's why she makes number 14 on this list. Probably one of the sexiest fighting game characters out there. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 14 has to be Chun-Li from the hit game series Street Fighter. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep this party rolling. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 13 has to be Mei from the hit fighting game series Guilty Gear. Really and truly, ladies and gentlemen, I did not know about Mei because I always used to play on this series. I used to play with my boy Chip Zanoff, or I used to play with who else? Chip Zanoff and Kai Kisuke. But I kind of fell in love with Mei's character off of Guilty Gear Xrd. I was like, man, Mei, you kind of good. She a girl that fight with a big old anchor on her back, and she crazy about Johnny. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, I think Mei, storyline wise, is old enough now. I think she's 18 now. Correct me if I'm wrong. My Guilty Gear fan, y'all let me know about the lore of Mei. But I just recently started liking Mei because she pretty good. She got some tight fighting game moves. She got her big dolphin that she sick at you. She sick a whole ocean full of stuff at you, and Mei pretty good. They gotta look like an anime girl, which is good. I ain't got no problem. I'm an anime fan, so I ain't got no problem. Anime girls, she's made a little cute, little adorable fighting game character. But if you learn how to play with Mei, she can be deadly on them sticks. Mei's a pretty good character. I don't know why she fighting, because I'm not real in tune with the Guilty Gear storyline. I need to get into that Guilty Gear storyline, because fighting unlike, you know, people like to tell you this, but fighting games actually do have decent storylines if it's written right, unlike Tekken. But we're gonna get into that. But Mei, good fighting game character. That's why she make number 13 on this list. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, tongue tied. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 13 has to be Mei from the hit game series Guilty Gear.
All or nothing.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 12 has to be Kai Kisuke. Wow. Now, Kai Kisuke, ladies and gentlemen, he's the main protagonist of Guilty Gear series storyline. And I'm not gonna sit up in front like I know the Guilty Gear story. I used to follow it a little bit, but like I said on the last number, I need to really follow and get more into this Guilty Gear storyline. But Kai Kisuke, he did marry Hot Dizzy though. Hot Dizzy is hot. He married her, and then they had a son, Shin Kisuke. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section. I'm pretty sure about that. But Kai Kisuke is your typical hero. He's just a hero. Kai Kisuke fights for justice and trying to save his world over there in the Guilty Gear universe. And he got a sword, electric, and Kai Kisuke, man, you know how to play with Kai Kisuke? He can be deadly on them sticks, ladies and gentlemen. He can be deadly on them sticks. And Kai Kisuke, a good character, ladies and gentlemen. He fights, like I said, starting to sound like a broken record, but he fights for justice and, you know, everything that you can think of when it comes to good. We think of good, positive role model characters. Kai Kisuke is it. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 12 has to be Kai Kisuke from the hit series Guilty Gear.
All or nothing.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 11 has to be my boy Chip Zanoff. Wow. Now, Chip Zanoff, ladies and gentlemen, this is my home. I've been playing with Chip ever since the first Guilty Gear first came out. Actually, to be honest with you guys, girls, I didn't get into Guilty Gear until Guilty Gear X2. Is it Reloaded? I forgot. Whichever one that first came out on PS2. That's the one I first played with. I know they made one before that on PS1. But I first started with the Guilty Gear series on the one at PS2. And Kai Kisuke, I'm not Kai Kisuke, I'm tripping. Just got through talking about him. Chip Zanoff was always my boy. I like him because he's ninja, he's fast. And that's why I never did get into Guilty Gear, was it Strive? Whatever the newest one is. Because they destroyed my boy Chip. He not fast like he used to be no more. People say that he's stronger now, but no, don't change his fight style. That's why I ain't like it. Never did get into Guilty Gear Strive because of that. But other than that, I do know a little bit about Chip Zanoff's story now because I found that out on XR. I think in the storyline, as far as XR, I can't think of speak on the rest of them after that. Chip was the president. He a president because when he wins, he go, voting is your civic duty, citizen. So he a president. He the president of his nation, I think. So Chip basically is a good guy as far as it goes when the Guilty Gear storyline is concerned. But ninja, I'm always a fan of ninja. If you're a ninja in any type of fighting game, I'm 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna play with you. That's why he makes number number 11 on this list. My boy Chip Zanoff. He fast. I like his fighting style because it's ninjutsu, baby. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 11 has to be Chip Zanoff from the hit game series Guilty Gear. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're at number 10 at the halfway point. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys and girls for sticking with me for so long. Let's get into this. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 10 on my top 20 favorite fighting game characters of all time has to be Hyde from the hit game series Under Night in-Birth. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I first played Under Night In-Birth, the first character I navigated toward was Hyde. Hyde is just a cool character. He got one of the tightest fighting game songs of any fighting game you ever played. You listen to that song, it gets you so hype. Dun, 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 dun. Listen to that song right now, getting me hype. Made me want to go play it on the Night In-Birth series. Yeah, I first played on the Night In-Birth series back on PS3. It came out on PS3, then eventually PS4. I think the last one came out on PS5, but they kind of shot themselves in the foot by coming out at the same time as Tekken 8. I don't know who was smoking that weed when they thought that they compete with Tekken 8. Now don't get me wrong, I like On the Night, but don't bring your game out around Tekken 8. That was stupid. But anyways, that need to hear no that. We're talking about Hyde. Hyde, tight fighting game character. He wields the sword. I don't know his storyline because I never did get into the storyline Under Night In-Birth. I need to, but yeah, love me some Hyde. One of my favorite fighting game characters to play as on these fighting game sticks. Shout out to all my Hyde fans. This is for you. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 10 has to be Hyde from the hit fighting game series Under Night In-Birth. Let's keep moving. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 9 has to be Orchid. Wow, Orchid from the hit fighting game series Killer Instinct. Now, Orchid, so hot, want to touch the hiney. Ooh, wow. Man, I remember when I first played with Orchid on Killer Instinct back when I was growing up in the arcades. And Orchid did this move where, like, you couldn't see nothing, but you're a kid in the 90s, you like, and you're a teenager, you like, did she just do what I think she did? Yeah, she basically flashes whatever character you win with. It's a move that she do. She flashes the character's eyes pop out of their head, and they go just fall to the floor. But what was the tight thing about it though? If you flash Orchid and you win with Orchid, she'll just stomp her feet like, oh, basically saying my boobs ain't as big as her boobs or whatever. It was crazy. It was tight, the innovation they had back in the 90s. But Orchid, tight fighting game character. I used to love doing her little 20 hit killer, not killer combo, ultra combo. Yeah, that Joker used to be in that tight neon suit. Oh Lord, bless her. Yeah, Orchid. Basically, her storyline back in Killer Instinct 1, Killer Instinct 2 days. I can't speak on the new Killer Instinct, where they were trying to beat Ultra Tech, and you find out if you beat. What's the tight part about it? You beat the game with Orchid, and you don't kill Jago. You find out that Orchid and Jago are actually half brother, half sister, something like that, and they got to continue up together to beat Fulgore and beat Ultra Tech. But Ultra Tech, the big evil corporation that you're trying to take down in the Killer Instinct storyline. On Killer Instinct 1 and 2, I can't speak on the new one. I do have a new one. I just can't speak on that storyline. Never did get into it. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 9 has to be Orchid from the hit game series Killer Instinct.
Supreme victory.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 8 has to be Ryu. Wow, now, ladies and gentlemen, although I'm more of a Ken fan more so than Ryu fan. I'll be honest with you guys and girls. I gotta give this man credit when credit due. When you think about Capcom, basically the poster boy for Capcom fighting games is just Capcom period. First game character that goes up there is Ryu. Yes, Ryu he's it. He's that guy. I'm not a big fan of him. I ain't gonna say I'm a big fan of him. I like Ryu, but I just prefer my boy Ken better. That's just me. That's just my opinion, my thoughts, my opinion. Shout out to all my Ken players down there in the comment section. Stand up. But when you think of Capcom fighting games, you got to have Ryu. You cannot have a Capcom fighting game 9 times out of 10 without Ryu being in there. And most of the time, whenever you have a Capcom game, most time they need to have Ryu in there some type of way. A reference to him, as he first tailored the thing of the fireball. You know, Hadouken. Y'all know Ryu fight basically to get rid of the Satsuhado. And there's a big, pretty much, not deep storyline, but there's a storyline with Ryu why he fighting, and he the main character. You think fighting games, not just Street Fighter, Capcom fighting games, just fighting games period. First character that comes to mind is Ryu. He's that guy. I ain't gonna hate on him. I got to respect him. Although I think Ken better, but I got to respect. I got to give this man credit where credit due. So come in, ladies and gentlemen. That's why he makes this list. I like Ryu. Not as good as Ken though, but I like Ryu. I got to give the man credit where credit due. So come in, ladies and gentlemen. Number 8 has to be Ryu from the hit series Street Fighter.
Perfect.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep this party rolling. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 7 has to be Guile from the hit fighting game series Street Fighter. Sonic Boom, Flash Kick. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, Guile, although, you know, like I told y'all, Ryu is, you know, the poster boy for fighting games. When you think fighting games is Ryu, but a lot of people like Guile. Guile is, you know, with that mohawk, and, you know, and he's famous for the Sonic Boom, but he's also fighting. His little storyline is he's trying to beat Bison, and Bison killed his friend Charlie, but some type of way Charlie came back to life. It's a crazy convoluted storyline when it comes to Charlie. But anyway, Guile, when you think charge up characters, Guile is it. He got that Sonic Boom, he charge down, charge back up, Flash Kick. He don't say Flash Kick, but hey, that Guile's that guy. He may not be as popular as Ryu, but he's that guy. Everybody in the fighting game streets know about Guile. There's that Sonic Boom, ladies and gentlemen. And then he got one of the tightest themes out there. What they say, Guile themes goes with everything. Shout out to my YouTubers that put that together. It does. It kind of does go with everything. But nothing else can be said about Guile, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing him a disservice by talking too much about it. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 7 has to be Guile from the hit fighting game series Street Fighter. Let's keep moving.
Sonic Boom. Yoda. Sonic Boom. Yoda. Sonic Boom! 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 Go back, fire! Go back, fire! Sonic Boom! You win!
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep this part of the rolling. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 6 has to be Robert Garcia. Wow, from the hit fighting game series, Art of Fighting, then King of the Fighters. What else was Robert Garcia on? Yeah, mainly King of the Fighters and Art of Fighting. Wow, now, ladies and gentlemen, I fell in love with Robert ever since he's one of my favorite characters ever since Art of Fighting, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the reason why I like Robert, I like the way he dressed. You know, I like, man, he's just a cool dude looking dude. He cool dude, whole thing, chasing after Yuri, and Yuri won't get that man the time of day. Yuri is Robert Ro Sakazaki's sister. Yuri is fine, she pretty, but you need to give my boy Robert the time of day. But I like Robert. Robert, I think he's a multi-millionaire. And they basically, the whole storyline with them, when you first play Art of Fighting, he was fighting to try to save Ryo's sister, Yuri, and then the storyline goes crazy from then. But yeah, Robert, he don't get sold enough love. And then what pissed me off about how they did the Art of Fighting team, because you know, if you play King of the Fight, y'all know what I'm talking about. King of the Fight 94, 95, they had them right. It was right on there. Then when 96, 97, they just destroyed them. After that, KOF, the devs at KOF made it their mission to destroy the Art of Fighting team. Ever since after 95, they just destroyed them. They made it where Ryo's fireball don't go all the way across the screen. They made it where Robert, he didn't throw a fireball, he threw like a belt buckle. And they just cheapened their moves so much in King of the Fighters. I still play with them because I'm a fan of their character, you know, their move style, but they just, in the King of the Fighters series, they just kind of destroyed all their moves. Ever since KOF 95, they just all went downhill. Now KOF, 14 and 15, they kind of starting to get them back to where they need to be, but they still ain't got Ryo back to where he need to be. He still can't throw a fireball all the way across the screen, which is ridiculous, SNK. Ridiculous. But other than that, Robert's my boy. Always have been. When you think of SNK, he may not be the most popular one, but he's up there in my opinion. I love Robert Garcia. That's why he's one of my favorite characters, fighting game character to play as. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 6 has to be Robert Garcia from the hit fighting game series, Art of Fighting, also King of the Fighters. Let's keep moving.
Perfect! Round 2, fight!
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, got to keep this party rolling. We're at number 5. We're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you guys, girl, for sticking with me for so long. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 5 has to be Terry Bogard. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know how I just was saying about how when you think of fighting games, most time the first fighting game character you think of is Ryu. Now, when it comes to SNK fighting game, the first character that's going to come to mind is Terry Bogard. Terry Bogard is so popular they invited him on a new fighting game they made, Fighting EX Layer. They put him in Smash Brothers because he that popular. Everybody know about Terry Bogard because he's just a cool dude. Terry Bogard a cool dude, cool fighting game character. He always throwing that hat. Okay, dusting that hat off and say, "Are you okay?" Bastard Wolf, Terry the man. Now Terry Bogard's storyline was him and his brother going back down to Southtown trying to get their revenge on Geese Howard, but Geese Howard killed their dad, their adopted dad, Jeff Bogard. But spoiler, Terry does get his revenge, but he still got a good heart. Now, this is a misconception. They try to paint Terry as a bad guy, but Terry fought Geese Howard on top of that roof, and on top of the roof, Geese was about to fall down and die. But Terry reached out, grabbed his hand, and said, "Come on, Geese, come back up on this roof. I don't want you to die." But Geese, being the evil, sadistic, crazy guy he is, he slapped Terry's hand away and fell all the way down there and killed himself, basically. And when he ended up killing himself, he left behind his son, Rock Howard, and Rock got the powers of, and basically, Terry being the nice guy that he is, he helped raise Rock Howard. That's why Rock know how to do Terry moves, and he got some Geese moves in him too. But yeah, he's basically Terry Bogard's son, because Geese died, and basically Terry helped raise this man. So Terry's just an overall good guy, always trying to help. Got a fine woman too, Blue Mary. I think him and Blue Mary actually date each other. Shout out to you, Terry. I'll put a ring on that too. I hope you put a ring on it soon, but they do go out on dates. Shout out to my boy Terry, because Blue Mary is so hot. She got short hair too, but she pulls it off because Blue Mary is sexy. But yeah, anyways, Terry Bogard, good character. When you think SNK fighting game, first character you're going to come up with in your mind in these fighting game streets is Terry Bogard. So coming in, ladies and number 5 has to be Terry Bogard from the hit fighting game series Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, of course, and King of the Fighters. Let's keep moving.
Round 2. Fight! Final round. Fight! Okay.
Alrighty, ladies and coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 4 has to be Joe Higashi. Wow, now Joe Higashi from the hit fighting game series, of course, Fatal Fury and King of the Fighters. Now I kind of fell in love with Joe Higashi off the King of the Fighters. What's the series? One of the words. King of the Fighters 2000. That's when I started liking Joe. He had that super move. Oh, did he get it in? It's a hurricane that goes all the way across the screen. And ever since then, I kind of like Joe Higashi. And the thing about the way we used to play, shout out to my younger brother, Torn. Me and him used to play where we used to, there was an option on the PS2 version of King of Fighters, can't speak on no other version, where you can turn the super moves all the way up to the maximum. That means you can do unlimited super moves all throughout the game, and we used to love playing like that. And I used to spam that move. What did he get it in? What did he get it in? I used to stay doing that move, and I liked it. And Joe's storyline was he's the best friend of Joe, and Joe's best friend of Terry and Andy. He their best friend, and they fighting, all of them fighting to try to take down Geese Howard. And let's see, poor Joe, everybody got a girlfriend, basically, even though Andy's stupid. You know, mine like Andy, and Terry Bogard with not Terry Bogard with I'm trying to get this straight. Terry Bogard with Blue Mary, but left my boy Joe out. But apparently, I think in the storyline, I don't know which one is chronological, but Joe likes Billy Kane's sister Lily. He likes her. I don't know if she like him, but he likes her. That's why he's trying to talk to Billy and try to get him to hook him up with his sister. They got a little storyline going on with that. But other than that, man, Joe overall good dude, best friends with Terry and Andy. You know, so Joe's a good dude. He's a good fighting game character to play with. That's why he makes number 4 on this list. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 4 has to be my boy Joe Higashi. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta keep this party rolling. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 3 has to be Rookie. Let's go, bub. Wow, my boy Wolverine from the hit fighting game series X-Men vs. Street Fighter, X-Men Children of Atom, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. When you think of a Marvel game, if you don't have Wolverine in it, you must be smoking that crack or something, because Wolverine is... He one of my favorite fighting not only fighting game characters but comic book characters. I always like Wolverine. The reason why I like Wolverine because I liked his whole origin story. It's kind of tragic, but not really tragic, but his power. He basically has a healing factor off the chain, and basically nothing can't really hurt him too touch. And he don't age really because his healing factor slows down his aging process, and he's just a tight character, ladies, with them claws, them adamantium claws, and Wolverine got a very unique storyline, ladies. And my comic book heads down in the comment section. Comment down in the comment section. Tell me all about Wolverine down in the comment section. Because Wolverine, he always been my favorite. I like his style, his 3 claws and his 6 claws, and just a tight fighting game character to have. And he just, when he beats you, he turn around, take his mask off, and pose and talks Rookie. Wolverine. Talking about my boy Wolverine gets me so hype. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Don't know about Wolverine, ladies and gentlemen, y'all better ask about Wolverine. He's on just about every Marvel fighting game out there. You think of Marvel fighting games, it's Wolverine. He the man. He's it. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 3 has to be Wolverine.
Showtime. Round 1. Fight. Tornado Claw. Real Claw. Berserker Barrage! Tornado Claw! Wolverine! Perfect! Round 2! Fight! Real Claw! Tornado Claw! Red Ball! Fight Sting! Tornado Claw! Berserker Barrage! Tornado Claw!
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're down to the last 2. We're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Hang in there. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 2 has to be my boy Jago. Wow, Jago from the hit fighting game series Killer Instinct 1, Killer Instinct 2. If you follow me on PlayStation Network, my fighting game, my icon character name, my PSN name is Jago912. There's a reason for that. Because I always fell in love with Jago. I liked him on Killer Instinct 1, but I really liked him on Killer Instinct 2. That's when I really fell in love with Jago as a character. And he's like the main protagonist of the Killer Instinct storyline. Back in Killer Instinct 1 and 2, I can't speak on the new one. He's fighting to try to stop Ultra Tech. I don't know what they're doing now in the Killer Instinct storyline, but my boy Jago got that sword and had them ultra combos. I used to do that little 20 combos. I can get by ultra combo. Talking about Killer Instinct, ladies and gentlemen, gets me so hype. Ladies and gentlemen, Jago, that's my boy. Always been one of my favorite fighting game characters. That's why he makes number 2 on this list. Nothing else can be said. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 2 on my top 20 favorite fighting game characters of all time has to be Jago. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, my number one favorite fighting game characters of all time is, if y'all know me, y'all know I got to go with this, my boy Ken Masters. Wow. Now Ken Masters, ladies and gentlemen, I fell in love with Ken Masters' character back when I first grew up. The first fighting game I ever played was Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo. Wow. Now my brother, he used to always play, shout out to my younger brother Twan, he used to play with Ryu. And I liked the Ken because, you know, my favorite color red, he always had the red gi, and Ryu had the white gi, you know, karate gi. And ever since then, I liked the Ken. And Ken's storyline was very tight because he basically gets married. Family man, settled down. Him and Eliza. Eliza is pretty. What? He settled down. Him and Eliza had a son. I forgot the name of the son. But they had a son. And the reason why I was initially off of Street Fighter 6 storyline, because they had the storyline where I think Ken was, they had him dressed up as a bum. Basically, you know, and I thought the storyline at first, before I delved more into the storyline, that he had lost his family, left him, and he was all by himself. But I think he's still with his family. I don't know. I need to play the Street Fighter 6 storyline. But at first, the initial thing with Ken, I was mad because how they did my boy Ken. I'm like, man, this is a happy-go-lucky guy. Y'all got him looking like a bum here on Street Fighter 6, and I didn't like that look of, and that made me not want to play Street Fighter 6 at first. But then I eventually learned that Ken is fighting to stop this one evil guy that's over the whole thing, but his family fine, he just in hiding or something like that. I forgot how the storyline is. Comment down in the comment section, y'all know that Street Fighter 6 storyline. I know they done tore it up. But my boy Ken, overall good guy, gets overshadowed by Ryu a lot. But when it came to Ken and Ryu, Ken was always the faster guy. You know, he had the flame and the uppercut. And Ryu, you know, he was always the more powerful when it came to Shotokan karate. And, you know, they had the same sensei, and they won't never say this, but Akuma is Ryu's daddy. There's a whole big storyline with that. But Ken was always my boy. Shinryuken, Soryuken Pa. You know, I loved all Ken's moves, man. Man, Ken, my boy. I always will be my boy. That's why he made number one on this list. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps up, ladies and gentlemen, for this rendition of my top 20 favorite fighting game characters of all time. Leave comments below, ladies and gentlemen, of your top 20 favorite fighting game characters of all time. Would love to know down below. Thank you guys and girls so much for watching. Stay tuned for more great videos like this on the way. Double Dragon 912 signing out. Peace out.
Yeah.